Winter's almost over, but tomato prices are through the roof. I'm going to show you today how to make a very simple, tasty salsa using canned tomatoes and a nice fresh guacamole using that salsa with the first avocados of the season, all in under 5 minutes. Today on Cooking with Wolves. When I'm entertaining, I always have two staples for any occasion I need: salsa and guacamole. They're simple, I usually have the ingredients on hand, and I can make them in under 5 minutes. So today, I'm going to show you how to make both in the time that it takes you to watch this video. First, we're going to make the salsa. For that, we're going to go get our vegetables from the fridge first, both cilantro and green onions. Now, I've washed these beforehand. So you're going to need green onions for both the salsa and the guacamole. 5 will do for a batch of normal salsa and the guacamole we're making. If you like more onions, feel free to put them in there. So first thing we need to do is remove the bottoms off of our onions as well as the tops. Put those aside. Now, since we're going to use this for both the salsa and the guacamole, you're just going to go ahead and chop these all at the same time. A nice thin dice. Just roll your knife through it, just like that. Make sure to keep your fingers back from the knife as you go through. You really don't want to chop those off when you're just deciding to make some salsa. Alright, we've got those all chopped up. Move those off to the side. Split your green onions into about 2/3 for your salsa, which will go into one bowl, and the remaining third we'll put in the bowl for our guacamole. Those will be over there for later. In the meantime, you're going to need some fresh cilantro. And this is my favorite herb. It's bright, it's floral, it's pungent, it goes great in soups, it can complement so many foods, and this is just something I make sure I always have in the fridge. So I'm going to show you a little trick about how to remove cilantro very easily from these stems for the tasty leaves. All you're going to need is a fork. So we're going to put this down. By using the tines of your fork, you can pull the leaves of the cilantro and leave the majority of the stems behind. They really aren't so tasty. So you need about a handful of cilantro, about like that, and we're just going to chop this very fine. Once you've finished with your cilantro, scrape it up with your knife and move it right into your salsa bowl. It's as easy as that. Next, you're going to need a can of diced tomatoes and a can of diced green chilies. This is going to go right in the bowl. And that's it. 4 ingredients. That's it for salsa. You're going to need a spoon to stir it with. Just stir everything together and then season with a little bit of salt and some freshly cracked pepper. Taste, of course. The tomatoes really come through, but the key here is the cilantro and the green chilies. I always make salsa, same 4 things. Always make sure that you've got green chilies in there or it just is not the same. So that's it. Now we're going to move on to the guacamole. I bet you're wondering why I have a paper bag and a banana, which doesn't belong to guacamole. Thing is, bananas produce ethylene gas, which ripen avocados much faster than them just sitting them out. However, you need the paper because it needs to be breathable. If you put this in plastic, you're just going to get rotten avocados. For this, we're going to need 3 ripened avocados. You're going to take your knife, put your avocado down, again, protecting your fingers. You're going to slice right down the middle of your avocado. All you're going to do is just roll the avocado through, keeping your knife nice and tight in there. That's going to allow you to just remove the halves like such. You don't need the pit, so take the butt of your knife, give it a whack, twist, pit comes right out. To get it off, put your 2 fingers back here and just squeeze. Easy as that, and look, I still have all my digits. Repeat with the remaining 2 avocados. Score your avocados into cross sections using the tip of your knife. scoring the avocados are going to allow you to mash them quite a bit easier. So it doesn't have to be fancy, you're just doing this to make it easy. So using a spoon, scoop out all of the flesh out of your avocado into your guacamole bowl. The next thing we're going to need is a lime. Not just for brightness, but it's also going to prevent the guacamole from browning. So, 1 lime for 3 avocados. You probably need half of it. Unless you're a citrus fiend, you can use all of it. So, just take your juicer, or fork if you want, and squeeze that in. And now, we mash. I like a potato masher for larger amounts. If you're just using 1 avocado, a fork works just fine. Mash the avocados to your desired texture. I like mine a little chunky, so I'm not going to do too much mashing, but it's really all about personal preference here. We're going to turn back to our trusty friends, salt and pepper, for some seasoning. So a little bit goes in there. Some freshly ground pepper. And I also like a little bit of garlic powder in mine. I think this really gives it a nice hit. Now, secret here is using the fresh salsa that we just made in our guacamole. So for 3 avocados, I'd probably say about 3 spoonfuls. So do this, get your spoon, mix it all up so it is nice and pretty. Can you see that? It's delicious. Last thing to do, taste for seasoning. If there's one perfect food on this planet, it's definitely avocados. And that's it. It's guacamole and salsa. I hope you enjoy these recipes as much as I do, and use them the next time you're in a pinch to feed your friends. Join me next time at Cooking with Wolves, and we'll make something new, tasty, and delicious.